Brand new year, we've got new goals, we've got a new studio, we've got new tutorials, and welcome. I know I have been away, but welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm hoping you're definitely gonna love this video. I never usually get my hair done for tutorials, even if it's TikTok, but today this is the star of the show. We are going to be revamping this wig from black to brown. I have listed a couple of products that you can use. We are learning how to bleach hair, what products to use to bleach hair, how long to bleach hair. We are learning how to tone hair, what toners to use, how to mix the toners, and what developers to use to achieve this hot urban color. This is not branching towards a red, it's branching towards a brown copperish color. Maybe because of artificial light it might look different, but I kind of did try to give you guys a proper feel of what the color of this hair is. And we're going to be branching into what are the plans for the year, tips and advice for upcoming hairstylists and wig business owners, and just the overall feel of my studio, what's going on, what were the delays that I faced, and what the plans going forward are. So I hope you really like this video. Revamps are very important because ladies buy hair that is expensive and they really want longevity on it. And by them wanting longevity, you as a stylist or a person that is good with hair coloring, wig making, customization, and all of those things, you need to be able to give your clients solutions on how their wigs could look much better than they were in the beginning. I usually actually tell my clients, okay, you've had a wig for X amount of years and you're tired of what it looks like, add a bundle, change the color, remake the wig if it needs to be resized, etc, etc. So there's a lot of things that you can do to wigs, manipulate them, remake them so that they look different and new. I mean, what better skill do you need than to learn how to revamp a wig? More than anything, revamps have money because you are bulk pricing. Now you are pricing for probably customization, closure replacement, wig making, treatment, and color, and all of those things are not cheap. I have done revamps that have gone to the price of even over 4,000 or 5,000 rand for clients. And if a client has a really good wig that they purchased a while ago and the hair is still up to standard, why not invest in it so that it just gives it extra longevity and a new life overall. So we are going to be revamping a wig that I purchased a couple of months ago. I think I purchased it last year when I did my master classes in Johannesburg. I purchased it at D30 Silky D Hair, and I'm going to give you guys a rundown of their long Vietnamese hair as well. I really just wanted to purchase this to get it out of my bucket list, just to get the feel of, is the hair really worth it? Now I've worn this hair a couple of times. I have a lot of wigs, so you can't expect the condition of my wigs to be similar to the conditions of your clients or yours when you're doing a revamp, right? So as a person that wears a lot of hair, I would probably not use the same wig over and over again as somebody else would. So you shouldn't expect any balding on my closures. You shouldn't expect a lot of shading on my bundles. They should still be in a very good condition because obviously I am a hairstylist and I really know how to take care of hair. I'm going to show you guys the bundles now. I'm going to show you the color that we are going to be achieving and the whole cut and the process behind it as well. We're going to be doing this over a 2-day period. Today we are going to be just doing the coloring part of it, what products to use, and testing the hair with you guys so that you know when you do go to the store what it is to expect. And tomorrow we are going to be doing the wig making part. It's not going to be a wig making tutorial because I'm still using my home-based machine, not the industrial one, which is the one I'm going to be using to give you guys tutorials. However, it's going to be in one video, so you do not have to wait for a part 2. We don't do part 2s over here. So to get straight into the hair that we're going to be using, I think if you have this on really HD, you can kind of see the hair quality of the ends and what it looks like. I've never curled this hair, I have never colored it. It's just been worn as it is. It was quite black when it arrived, however it has changed color, and this was a closure, still very much intact, and it was customized and obviously worn as is. There's no shading on the closure at all, not gonna lie, and I've worn this quite a number of times. As for the hair, I did experience quite a lot of tangling with the hair. This unit, if I price it, if I price it, like I think I paid around 5.8 for it. It was 3 bundles. 2 bundles were, I think 2 bundles were 22 inches, and then 1 bundle was 24. I made this wig myself, so I didn't really do a lot of chopping on the wefts as well. So that's going to be easier for me to actually remake the wig myself using the machine. However, but if your wigs are a bit choppy, it doesn't really matter. If you're going to be using a sewing machine, that's just going to take all of that away, because it really holds the wefts intact. So overall review of this hair, the ends were fried. Like, you're probably not going to be able to see this, but the ends were really fried. They kind of give dull hair. So I'm really skeptical about putting color on it, but we'll see. I mean, I'm experimenting on hair that I'm not even going to be selling to anyone. That's hair that I'll be wearing. So if it has an issue, then it's a me problem, right? So I'm going to be coloring this from black to a medium brown, and then we are going to be toning it with a developer to take it to a subtle shade of burgundy. Okay, I've never had burgundy hair before. I don't like bright red hair, so I am going to be letting this just lift a little and then apply the color. Why am I doing this? It's because if I just put the toner directly onto this black hair, it is not really going to take the color very well. It's not going to take the color very well. It's just going to be low lights, highlights, low lights. I'll teach you all about that when we deal with the blonde hair and what all of that means. So I am going to just lift the color a bit and see. I am as nervous as you guys. I honestly do feel like this was a waste of money though. About 6,000 Rand for this. And it's not even a year, but the ends really are fried. The hair looks good when you're wearing it, but if you're sleeping in it, you kind of have to constantly detangle, and it sheds a lot. I would recommend their bobs. If you're somebody that just wants to stock there and buy their bobs for resale, that's perfectly fine. However, not really happy about this purchase, but let's get into the video and everything that we need. So step 1, which is very important, we're going to be using professional products, right? I'm doing these tutorials because number 1, I do not recommend box products, which means I don't think you should go to Clicks or Discount to buy items to be bleaching your wigs, especially if you are dealing with expensive hair. I'm not talking about quality, but if it's expensive and you do not want to lose value off your hair. So this is from Medi Hair, right? This is their charcoal. They have a white version, they have a charcoal version. It does the same thing. If you follow me on TikTok, you would know that when it comes to bleach powder, I use a charcoal powder, I use a blue powder, I use a white powder. It all does the same thing. However, I really like the quality of this. Over the past couple of months, I've been using it only for hair directly, and I've been using the blue powder for customization. So this is from Medi Hair, right? Medi Hair, I'll attach the website below, and this is not a paid post. I use their products religiously. I have a shop nearby because I'm based in Umhlanga. They have a shop in Umhlanga near Taki Wash on Equinox Drive, if not Millennium Boulevard, I'm not too sure. However, they do have an online shop and they deliver the following day. And then I'm going to be using 20 volume developer, right? So you know that developers come in 10, 20, 30, 40. I want this to be a slow process. Number 1, because I'm dealing with the hair that is not in a wig, it is in bundles. So I'm going to start applying on this bundle, then the second, then the third, then the closure. And why am I reiterating using 20 volume? You can leave it on for longer before the color actually processes and lifts the hair quicker. If you want to do a bleach bath method for this, feel free to do a bleach bath method. It works, it is quick. I have a video on my TikTok on how to do a bleach bath method. I will only do an in-depth bleach bath method here on YouTube when we are actually bleach bathing a client's wig that is going to give us some time before we send it to her, because if I'm going to record a bleach bath, I have to skip a whole day before actually sending the client's hair. Once you're done with this step, we are going to get to the second step, which is adding color to the hair, which is going to be toning it to a little bit of a dark reddish burgundy tone. And like I said, I am not using box dye. Okay, we are not using box dye. I'm using the Nuance hair coloring cream. This is the one that I used for the blonde hair that I was wearing. I remember in August I attended an event. I was wearing the blonde hair, and I toned that hair from a yellowish blonde, sort of like this one here, to this kind of blonde. I think if you can see, these two blondes are different colors. This is what it comes from the factory, and this is what happens when you tone your blondes. That is also a tutorial for another day. So I'm using these two items from Nuance. You also get them from Medi Hair. I don't know if this is a bit too bright, but they have a book, and the book is at the store where I purchased. However, you can purchase the color index book, which has individual strands. You know, if you're a hairstylist, you'd understand this. The book has a color, has color indexes of each strand with the code. So with this one, I'm using code 7.62. Just gonna show that to you guys. So the one that I'm gonna be using has a code 7.62. I bought two because you mix this with developer, and there's quite a lot inside here. So I could do this wig that I'm going to be revamping, and maybe a bob if I wanted to. So this is how it comes out. This is actually, how many mls is this? It's 100 mls. So if you buy two, it's 200 mls plus developer. Now with developer, because I would have finished the bleaching part, I'm going to be using 30 developer on this one, so that the color could be a bit quicker, and I'll leave it on for about an hour or two, just depending on how quickly the hair takes in the color, right? So let us get into revamping this hair and everything you need to know about revamping a wig. Remember, we use professional products. I only list professional products on my YouTube. I will never say go to Discam, go to Clicks and buy a box dye of this brand. I will never even endorse that, because those box dyes are really horrible quality for your wigs. So you have to make sure that you stay covered when you're going to be working with bleach or color in general. This also applies even for blondes. When you are toning blonde wigs from the yellow blonde to the more ash blonde, it doesn't take away from the fact that this is color. It can damage your clothing and it can damage your hands. That's why I'm always in gloves when it comes to color. I can get away with it when I'm bleaching hair because I'm used to it, but I always wear gloves just to stay protected. So I didn't really measure anything here. I just measured it from the top of my head. I took 1/3 of the powder, and I'm going to be mixing that with 20 developer. Remember, for the bleach, we're using 20 developer. I'm going to mix it into a very creamy consistency. And by this, I mean it's the opposite of what we do when we're customizing. When you're customizing, we want it thick. This time around, we definitely do not want it thick, okay? And when you do mix it, make sure that you don't make a mess. This is a very fine powder, and it is pricey. You don't want to have it spilling all over. What I like about this charcoal powder is that it doesn't really mess anything or stain anything if it does end up touching your clothing or the walls in which you're going to be working in. But since my cabinet is white, I did put black plastic just to make sure that it is covered. You really want to make sure that your surfaces are properly covered so that you don't make a mess or just in terms of damaging the place that you're working in. So when you do start applying, I usually like starting from the ends. I'm pressing the product in, and I'm not working with thick hair. I'm just taking each section as I go. Remember, my hair is already cut, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking those pieces that are already cut and applying with them. You can see here that I added more developer into my mixture because I suddenly felt like it is a bit too thick for my liking. And as you can see here, I am literally applying the product all the way to the weft, but not too close to the weft. I still want my roots to be dark, so that is why I'm applying it the way I am. I'm gonna turn my weft around as well and apply at the back. You can even use your fingers to do this. It doesn't always necessarily have to be a brush, but you just need to make sure that the hair thoroughly has bleach. So this is 20 developer, right? It is not as quick, and by this time I'm almost done, but this is already lifting. I want you guys to see this clearly, what color we achieved here. This is actually a good base color also if you're just looking to take your hair to like a milky, I'm not sure what it's called, but I think I remember it's called a coffee milk type of color, you can actually use the same method. You'd probably leave the product on for longer. But what I like about 20 volume developer, that it doesn't over process and it just takes its time. So this is where we are at, and I'm going to rinse these wefts which have lifted to the color that I want. I don't want different types of colors of lift, so I kind of can eyeball it and see that, oh, this is what I want. I'm going to stop right there. Next is going to be our closure. You're going to apply the closure similarly, start from the end and work your way to the top. But because the closure is kind of like the topper and it has to look very seamless and blended, I am going to get closer to the roots. However, I'm going to use a brush to blend that out so that it looks very realistic. If I leave it like this, it's going to look very choppy and it's going to look like I just drew lines from section to section, but I want it to blend out. So what I'm doing, I'm dragging the bleach from the ends and I'm taking it to the top of the closure, and then I'm brushing it out so that it looks very seamless, it looks very blended. You can use a comb for this or you can use a brush. It's really up to you. If you've got a problematic closure like mine that tangles, I would suggest that you use a comb just to make sure that the top and the base of the closure, which are the roots, remain dark to give you that subtle effect of color. All right, this hair is also processing. I'm going to throw this in the washer. Remember, you're paying attention at what you're doing with the application. You're also paying attention at the hair that is already processing. I'm going to wash that, right? I'm just washing it with basic shampoo and I'm going to towel dry it. I'm not going to cancel out the tones. I know somebody will ask me, okay, you've bleached the hair, why aren't you toning it and whatnot? Remember, I'm taking this straight to color. I'm not going to cancel out the orange tones. I'm just going to apply my color mixed with developer and move on from there. I'm going to show you guys a close-up of what the hair looks like. It's not really fully bleached. It kind of gives a little bit of a highlighted balayage kind of bleach system. However, this is going to work for me. I'm not really complaining. Also, this is how well the hair can take color. Remember, this isn't the best type of hair to color from what I've seen, and the closure did give me a couple of problems, but I didn't record that part on camera. All right, so the next part, we're using 30 volume now, right? We're using 30 volume developer to mix with our nuance toner, of which is going to give us a very auburn kind of color. If I wanted this to be bright red, I would have left the bleach on for longer so that the hair bleaches to a higher lift. By that I mean a brighter color, so that the color would project better. It's kind of like this. If you paint blue on a white piece of paper, it's going to be very blue. But if you paint blue on a brown piece of paper, it's not going to be as bright. So if you understand that reasoning, you'll understand why we lift hair to a certain color, so that we make sure that we get a subtle result at the end. How I cut this is how you must open your products. Cut it at the end, cut it open like you're opening a wrapper, and drag the product out instead of squeezing it through the nozzle. If you squeeze your product through the nozzle, you're not getting your money's worth. You are not getting the entire thing out. And I am not trying to lose even 5 rand, okay? So you're gonna mix that as well. It's a very thick kind of product. So add more developer to make it more creamy, as you did initially when you were working with the bleach. Now remember, with the bleach I only used 1 bowl. Here I might end up using 2 because I want to use more product. When you mix it, you'll kind of see the kind of color tone that you're going for. As you start mixing, it kind of does give off a little bit of a pinkish reddish kind of undertone, but you'll see that more once you've applied it to the hair. Now when you're applying, again, I'm still using the same method. Starting from the ends all the way to the top, you need to make sure, I can't stress this enough, you need to make sure that you have applied the bleach, you need to make sure that you have applied the product here all the way to the top. If you do not apply your product all the way to the top and make sure that it thoroughly coats the strands, it means you will not see the best result. Your hair is going to look patchy. It's going to have brown spots that you really don't want to see, and you're gonna have to do this color again. Notice what I'm doing with my hands here. I'm literally making sure that this entire piece of weft has the entire product in it, and I don't want any brown pieces that are going to be left aside. Even if you do leave it to aside, and then you start seeing that there are brown spots, please go back and apply your color. Even if you have to mix a small mixture again, please definitely go back and do that. Once you keep it in your plastic or your foil, you'll see that it is actively processing. You can kind of see the undertone you're going for here, and that's that little brown spot that I spoke about that you will see if you didn't apply your product properly. So you can just go back to those sections, apply where you see brown, and I left this overnight to process. So we did this video in different parts because we had some work to do in between, and the wig is now fully made. It is machine made. I'm still outsourcing my wig making. That is machine made because we had some issues with my industrial machine, and this isn't really a tutorial on how to make a wig. We do outsource it. Our lady that does it is quite quick, and I really prefer machine made wigs that use a mesh cap than a dome cap at times. But what I usually do, if I know that the wig is going to be mine, or I kind of know your head measurements, I will place the closure prior to sending it to her so that she just sews the rest, and it is a perfect fit. If you do want to order wigs that are a custom fit from our website, before you actually get to checkout, there is a sizing guide, and you just click on it. Once you click on your sizing guide, it will give you a table that has measurements. So all you need to do is to kind of get some measuring tape, measure what is on the picture, and then once you use that as an index, you can then send a note with your order saying, okay, according to your measurement size, my wig size is size S, or my wig size is extra small, or my wig size is medium average, or my wig size is large or extra large. We really do cater for all head sizes because a wig is never going to be a one size fits all, just like clothing. So you can alter it. We can actually remake a wig for you that you want remade as well. You can just bring it to our premises, or you can just log collection with us via Career Guide. We can pick it up from you, get it made, and then send it back to you from the comfort of your home. And that is a service that we are offering, and we have been offering for quite some time. Now, to get straight into this wig and the color that we eventually achieved and how we're going to go about styling it, I actually want to first flat iron it so that I can show you how the hair looks. The hair does look a bit dry, number one, because we did bleach it. That is absolutely normal, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm in love with this kind of urban color that we achieved. I will kind of take a video of this hair when we are in direct sunlight so you guys can kind of see the correct color, or I will just hold it against black so that you can also see what it looks like. But this is a very subtle urban color. The reason why we started with bleaching the knots is that brown and red will kind of give you this copper urban kind of vibe instead of giving you like a full red, of which I really am not a fan of. However, it is a bit dry. I'm going to show you the products we're going to be using, and please, if you have been referencing my videos from TikTok and Instagram for a very long time, you'll notice that I elevate products as more products become available to us. I might have used a certain serum a year ago. I'm using a different one now. It's because I'm actively trying to test out products to see which ones can work out best for you. So your three most important items when you are going to be flat ironing hair. Your three important items when you are going to be flat ironing hair or just exposing any type of hair to heat. This is also a step after you have washed your wig. You need heat protectant because you are exposing this hair to heat almost every week or after every wear, or when you are styling at home. Very important. I am going to be using the LV's Extraordinary Sublime Hair Serum. I have this at home for my own wigs, and I'm not gonna lie, it is pricey. I think it's $220, but the composition of the serum, like the consistency, the viscosity of this liquid, is really nice. It is not thick, so I'm hoping it can work well with this hair that has split ends as well. They've got different types. There's a night one, there's this one. This one is specifically for dry hair because we are dealing with hair that is dry, but it's worth your coins if you are actually going to be using this for home, even for working at your studio. And then I'm gonna add on some anti-frizz as well. You guys know how much I swear by this. Even if you've got the frizziest hair, this is a very good product to use. I'm actually almost finished with it, so I need to refill. absolutely gorgeous when it's ironed. I mean it. Like, look at how beautiful it looks. The color is amazing, I'm not gonna lie, and the dark roots kind of make this a very elegant, kind of subtle colored wig. If you really want your wigs to look more elegant, less I'm a first year student kind of vibe, or I just got to this whole wig installation and color thing, make sure that your roots are dark, even with the blondes. Like, I have a blonde wig behind me now. If you came at me with full blonde, like if you came at me with this full blonde color, I'd really look at you otherwise. But if you come with dark roots, it doesn't even have to be brown, it could be dark gray, it could be toned to match your complexion. I take it as somebody who understands black girl color, that your hair must be of darker roots. It's like if you're walking here with a full red wig, automatically I just know you didn't put any effort into that hair. You just put it on, you bought it, put it on, and that was it. You can root even the wigs that come red, wigs that come blue, wigs that come in a different color. I really like wigs that are rooted, but that is my personal preference, and that is how I would derive elegance. It shouldn't be the same for every single person. So I actually flat ironed this because I really wanted you guys to see what the hair looks like. It is very static, as I showed you in the previous clip. The ends are going to need to be trimmed. We are going to be curling this, and I'm going to be doing minimal layering on it. I'm going to do that as a voiceover as well because I can't do both at the same time. Please forgive me. I have lost my shearing scissors and I can't find it locally. It was either that or I'll wait another week before dropping this video. But I'm going to be using a razor, shearing razors, and a pair of scissors I have here. I've done this multiple times, so it's not like it's something that's new to me. And then maybe we will install this hair, but I'm not sure about it. So I'm going to be layering this hair. And why am I layering it? Because I want to create a better curl pattern. I want to add volume to this hair without making it bulky. I want the curls to hold for longer, and I kind of want it to face frame better and to actually have more body shape, definition, and longevity. Those are the reasons why we layer hair. Number one, you need to understand your angles. By angles, I mean the positioning in which you hold your hair and start trimming is going to define the type of layers that you're going to have, which is either subtle layers or more defined layers, right? So I'm gonna separate this hair into 4 sections: the 2 front parts and the 2 back parts. I'm not going for over the top layers. I really just want my curl pattern to have a bit more volume than just straight and no definition going straight down. Remember, I did say my shearing scissors are lost, so I'm going to be using a normal scissors, right? If you want your layers or your hair to be more bouncy, you are going to hold your hair in 180 degrees. By that, I mean straight. I am doing 45 degrees, as you can see here, and I am shearing it downward. This is 45 degrees. I am trimming the hair. As you can see what it looks like now, it is a 45-degree cut. If I wanted more pronounced layers, I would hold the hair in 180 degrees, as you can see. However, I'm not holding it in that direction. I am going to take it down to 45 at a triangle and then start trimming from there. Also, I'm not trimming from the root, I'm trimming more towards the ends because that is where I want my layers to sit. Now I can keep on grabbing the hair in that direction, pulling it towards 45 degrees and trimming it as you go. I still do recommend a shearing scissors, but this one was quite sharp and I could work with it. Or you can use a shearing razor if you have one. I am gonna just retouch it with the shearing razor as I go, but I'm not looking for over the top layers. I'm looking for something that is very subtle. If I wanted curtain bangs per se, I was gonna start trimming off right by the level of the ear, but I did not. I'm not going in with my shearing trimmer, and I'm just creating a bit more definition for when I curl the hair. You can't really see the layers now that the hair is straight. The reason for layers is to make sure that the hair curls better. Once we've done with the layers and I feel like I am okay with them for now, we're going to go into curling the hair. I got this curler from T-Notch Beauty. This is a 32mm barrel curler. A barrel curler is the only type of curler that is going to give you big, loose, wavy curls. If you want more tighter curls, you can kind of use a straightener if you know how to straighten with if you know how to curl with the straightener. But this is a barrel curler. It's 32 millimeters. I got it from T-Notch Beauty. It was 450 if I'm not mistaken. I will add it in the description box if you're interested in buying it. It was the most affordable I could get at the time, and it goes to 210 degrees, and I really like it. So we are curling outward, right? We're curling outward from the back of the hair up until the sides, and then when you get to the front, we are curling inward. So I am inserting the hair, closing the clamp and pulling it down, rolling it up, closing the clamp and pulling it down, loosening it up as I go so that the hair can get trapped inside, and I can roll it to the top and then leave it there for about 30 to 45 seconds. Understand this, if you do not let your hair sit in heat, your hair will not get curled. Similarly, when you're flat ironing, if you just pass the iron through, your hair is not going to get curled as well as you want it to. So once you've rolled it up and you've made sure that all of the hair is inside the roll, as you can see, you're going to let it sit for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds. Please take your time when you're doing this, and there's a reason why the service is quite pricey. And when you're pulling your curl out, do not let it fall. I know it might be hot, but hold it in that position and clip it in, and you are going to repeat this process all the way to the top, line for line. You don't have to take one weft at a time. You can take 2 or 3 depending on the thickness of your hair. This hair has now been layered, so it's not as thick as it was. Once you get to the top, this is now the area that is above the ear. I am going with the weft that I've started curling, and I'm just going to take the part that is on the ear. As you can see, I'm demonstrating which parts I'm going to be curling outward here, and the top part is the part that I'm going to be bringing forward so that it gives me more definition. I'm repeating the same process that I've been doing since the first couple of wefts. I'm rolling the hair up, curling it and pinning it, and I haven't applied any product. If you do want your curls to last longer, you are going to have to apply product as you go. So after every curl, just going to spray some holding spray and pin it so that it dries with the holding spray. If you start letting your curls unravel before they get cold, they are not going to last. Now, I'm telling you this if you are dealing with hair that is really desirable for curls. This hair isn't desirable for curls. I was just doing this for demonstration purposes so that you know how to style hair going forward. And if you ever come across a client that brings hair that needs to be curled like this, subtle curls, not too loud, more on the wavy type of texture that you'd be going for. Once you've done each and every weft at the back, we are now going to the top, right? When you go to the top, we are going to be curling toward the face. Very important, we're curling toward the face. Sometimes I don't like curling toward the face. It depends really on the type of curl pattern that I'm really going for. Everything else is going to be demonstration. As we go, you'll see exactly what it is that I'm doing. Self-explanatory, and then after this we will get to styling the hair and the advantages and disadvantages of the hair, and how I really felt overall with the color, absorption, and the type of curls that were achieved. So I went ahead and installed this hair off camera, but as you can see, the curls did not hold very well, but I kind of like the volume that it gives since it's layered. So I'm just going to finish up this install here and have a little chat piece with you guys to tell you about my progress, my plans for the year, and how certain things are going to be laying out. I actually kind of like this very loose kind of curl instead of having it like really, really curly, because it's just going to be low maintenance. But then let's get into it. I am going to use the same type of method I was using and doing it in sections. I'm not going to lie, shame, I'm not the best when it comes to doing my hair on camera, but at least I have a mirror in front of me, and yeah, let's get to it. So I was working, if you know me and you are my client, you know that I was working from my 2-bed apartment here in Msanga. I have been looking for space, but I kind of had to wait for my lease to finish. The one that I had, it was ending on the 1st of December. So then I actually, by God's grace, I got a place on the 1st. In fact, I think this piece is too big. I got a place on the 1st of December and officially moved to it on the 5th or the 6th, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't have a vision for this salon, or my beauty studio. I don't like calling it a salon. I didn't have a vision for my beauty studio, so I just had somebody who I would tell my plans and execute them, and then he'd let me know, okay, if you want to do this, you need that. If you want to do this, you need that. So it's not yet finished because I have some fittings that haven't arrived, like my waiting chairs, my reception desk is here. I'm going to give you guys a tour on the next video once it's officially done. Actually, yesterday there was skating and some electrical fitting that was done. I still need lights at the top. As you can see, like the light inside here is minimal. I actually always have to depend on ring lights, which I don't really like. But yeah, that is how far I am with it. I have the sink fitted. This background here, the heads, I got them from Temu, Shein, Temu. Like a lot of my fittings I actually got from Temu and Shein, because you know what? Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you ask people for quotes and it's so sad that it's people that know you and they will charge you a high amount because they know you. Like I know this other person that I got a quote from and they charged me like a ridiculous amount, and I'm just thinking to myself, but why would you charge me that amount when I've been your client before and somebody else literally asked for the same thing and you charge them a different amount? So that's why I kind of opted for, what is going on with this thing? It's just not doing what I wanted to do right now. Okay, so that is why I kind of opted for DIY. I had somebody, my husband organized somebody for me who he knows is very, very good with shop fittings and whatnot, and he kind of did everything for me. And like I can call him at any time and ask him, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. But I think my highlights was getting my reception desk and my storage cabinet sorted. That also I was really, really not happy with because of the service I got from the service provider and the actual whole reception desk itself. But you know what, I'm not even going to ask for a refund or to cause drama, so I just like, you know what, whatever. I got them from Facebook Marketplace and I'm definitely not recommending them to anybody. But another issue that I had was with the flooring. I hated the floors. They are kind of dark gray, and these tiles are literally like the veranda tiles back home, so it's not really easy to clean them. They need polish, and the polish that I have to use for these tiles I can't purchase from the store. It's usually out of stock, but whatever, we're gonna figure that out, because I just didn't want to spend on vinyl flooring in any case, because that's going to be expensive. I only have like a 2-year lease here, and that's on purpose. You know what, when I was still working from my apartment, I was okay with that as well, because I believe in allowing your business to scale itself. Now I'm not talking about somebody who's just doing hair for fun. I'm talking about if you are really, really in the hair business because you want to make a name for yourself, not just because it's just an extra thing that you can do, right? So I actually took a 2-year lease here because I really want to allow my business to scale itself. If within the next 2 years I haven't increased revenue or clientele to the point of this place being small, it means I will continue working from here. If ever I have scaled enough for my clients to afford me a bigger space, I will move accordingly. But for now, I'm really, really okay with being here for the next 2 years. It is a quiet space, not so far from where I was working, and I kind of have quite a lot of plans for the year. Like I was actually talking to this other salon owner just a couple of days ago, and we were just talking about how, you know what, we started being installation hairstylists when the market was really not as saturated, right? Not everyone could do a proper installation, not everyone had access to the proper staff. So we'd be fully booked like literally every single day. And if you don't add value to the services that you offer to your clients, you're no different to somebody that is doing an installation back at home for 150, who is just trying to make extra cash because they're sitting at home doing nothing. Nothing wrong with those people as well. You can start your business and scale it up from there. But if you are in the business of increasing revenue, scaling up, you have to add value to the services and the products that you offer. And that's something that I've been doing from last year. I think a lot of you guys know that we have glue, we sell hair, and we sell revamp services as well. That is one of the most important things. But for me this year, my plans are more on scaling on the hair parts more than anything, so that I can, you know, catch a break as well. I had employees last year. One of them said she got hurt on her hand and she stopped coming to work. So we had to get a new one, and the other got another job. So I have 2 new employees this year. I have a part-time admin person and I have a full-time junior hairstylist. That's the lady who was helping me earlier in the video with flat ironing. She actually knows how to do hair as well. So I want to kind of move the basic stuff of doing installations and installation and styling to her, and I will deal with the more complex stuff, which is coloring hair, which is revamping hair, and. So back to scaling your business. If you want to scale your business, for example, you're doing 5 frontal ponytails in a day. Like for me, I'm going to make an example with myself. I can do, my frontal ponytail is 2 hours. I can do 4 at most in a day. I'm at a point where I just prefer 4 clients in a day, nothing more than that. So I can do 4 clients in a day. That's 650 times 4. Say for example, there's customization involved and whatnot. So if that's 1.3 times 2, that means I can only make 2.6 a day. And a frontal ponytail is one of the most expensive installs. I can only make 2.6 on a fully booked frontal ponytail a day. There's 2 ways I can scale my business. Is to, number 1, increase the prices, of which is not an option at this point. There are many people who can do this at a cheaper price. The market is such oversaturated. Or number 3, offer client services that don't need me to be physically with the client. So in that 8 hours, if I can take 5 wig washes, which are 200 Rand each, and that is 1,000, and I can do that job in 1.5 hours, it means I can take 5 times 4, 5 times 5, and I can be done with work in half the day. So that's what I mean when I say you kind of need to scale. You can't be offering the same thing that is being offered by every other hairstylist in your city or in your area, right? But with scaling also, I feel like you kind of really need to plan it out, because you need the resources. You can't just say you're going to start doing revamps and you know nothing, absolutely nothing about doing revamps. You know, revamps are really complex. You can botch a client's wig. You can actually get really bad quality closures. You can get closures that don't match the client's hair, you know, all of those things. So with revamps, it's very complex, but that is where the money is at. And hence this whole video is about the revamp. I literally posted this video. I used to do revamps like a very long time ago. I've never stopped, but sometimes it's just an annoying service, because clients will come drop off their hair and not fetch it at a certain time, and you've done the work and you've invested the products, but you don't get your money's worth. That is one of the disadvantages. But the reason for this video was to actually just show that revamps are a process, so you charge with your processing. For example, my wig making is 500 Rand. I outsource it, but I can do it in-house if I really want to. But for me, the most important thing is time and convenience more than money, right? I can pay for time and convenience. So it's 500 Rand. If we include layering, that's another 250. If you do the color, that's about 950. If you do the styling, that's another 250. So if you think about it, with this revamp, I'm looking at more or less 2,000 Rand invested into a single wig by a client, right? However, if, and I can do this in between like work, I can start with the wig making and then do the coloring and then do that, all of that in between, without having to stand for 8 hours to do 4 clients and only make the same amount of money. So if you are in the hair business, you need to sit down with yourself and plan these things out. Go to ChatGPT if you need to, so you can tell ChatGPT your ideas and they can assist you. I am a big ChatGPT user, but a lot of people wouldn't know this, because obviously I don't look for captions on ChatGPT and all of that nonsense. What I do is, ChatGPT is kind of adapted to my business, because I do a lot of things on there. I treat it like my, how do I put this, my business advisor. So if I have a business idea, I'm like, hey, please make a mock-up of this for Slate Beauty, for example. Hey, please do this for Slate Beauty, you know what I'm saying? So it is kind of something like that. It really works for me, I'm not gonna lie. Probably won't work for everybody, but the more the app gets used to your type of business and what it is that you sell, the better. So that is my plan for this year. I am actually also going to be introducing quick weaves. I'm not going to be giving quick weave tutorials as yet, because I'm trying to monetize it to my gain, but we are going to be introducing quick weaves as a service for our clients, with the hair purchased from us or with the hair bought in by them. We'll see which one works better, because sometimes, you know, clients come with bundles that are not really user-friendly for the services they want. So I'm going to start with 2 people, my 2 friends. I'm going to do quick weaves on them. One is going to be with the leave out, one is going to be without a leave out. Post that and see how the traction gets me. I actually also did order a couple of US-based products. As you know, that I like ordering products that are not used by the basic South African hairstylists, like your protective shield and all of those things. I really am a person that learns from seeing. So all of these, like hair, for example, it is my passion. So I kind of don't have to go train for certain things to know them. I can get out a pen and a paper, go on the internet and research the composition of the products, to know exactly what it is that I need to use, so that they stay well installed, and how to remove, a safe removal process, and all of those things. So those are my plans for the year. I am going to take like a big break between I think between May, June, July. but we'll see. I think May, June and July I'll take a little break. I'm not going to be working for the Durban July. I might just rent out the studio to a makeup artist or a hairstylist who'd like to use my premises for that weekend so that it's convenient. But I don't think I am going to be working. Not that I don't think I will not be working for that weekend of the Durban July. I will be on leave, and I know I'm going to lose money and all of that, but it's whatever. So I'm not going to be working that weekend. And then I am also not doing any classes this year, any big classes to be exact. I have reconsidered doing private classes due to the demand. Yo guys, I get messages every single day like, are you doing master classes this year? Are you doing master classes this year? So I think I'm just going to do private classes for now. Maybe take about 5 people only, and it's only going to be in Durban for those 3 days, be it February and March, and then I'm done. Chances are I'm actually going to be done with master classes for the rest of the year, if not the rest of my life. They are very, very draining, and I can't, my biggest passion really, as much as I know how to teach, my biggest passion is actually doing the physical work. Let me finish up this install and stop yapping, and then yeah, if you here you got to the very end, thank you so much for watching this video. I know I've been away, but I will definitely be more consistent now that we have a new studio. One of the issues that I had in my previous studio was having to juggle working and shooting in a small space and not a very desirable space without my branding. But I'm really, really happy of where we are right now. If you haven't subscribed, please do like, comment and share this video to your friends. I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.